I am VP of Engineering at Metadata.io. A little bit of background about myself. I have 16 years of experience building web application software in many different startups as well as enterprise across multiple industries such as fintech, martech, business intelligence, and compliance. So since I joined Metadata.io almost 4 years ago, I've not only built this small but very highly efficient global distributed team. Before we have one engineer, and now we grow up to 12 different team members, ranging from engineer, QA, DevOps. I've also built multiple iterations of the product and went through multiple cloud provider migrations, which I will talk about it later. So besides Metadata, I am also a board member of a nonprofit startup called Building Education. We have the vision of building sustainable school infrastructure for children in Nepal. So what is Metadata and what do we do? Metadata is a data-driven demand generation platform for B2B marketers. We help our client to target the right audience, multivariate testing campaign across multiple ad channels like Facebook, LinkedIn, programmatic, and optimize experiments performance and generate attribution funnel reports. To simplify it, we practically answer the question is how much our clients spend on marketing and how much they actually generate on the sales funnel. As you can see, we have a lot of data processing going back and forth in our platform. So therefore, we need a very high processing quality infrastructure to support this. So the objective for the talk today, I will discuss what are our biggest challenges as a startup, what are we looking for in a cloud provider, and how DigitalOcean help achieve our goals. And the main objective for any startup for us would be how to improve infrastructure quality, how to improve operating efficiency while minimize infrastructure and operation cost. Let's jump to the biggest challenges. As I've been to multiple startups, I see a lot of similarities between all of these, newly deployed application. First of all, cost. Let's talk about cost. Every infrastructure have cost is one of the biggest challenge. Not only on the infrastructure side, like you have to pay for your servers, networking, etc. There's also a DevOps cost that incur with the infrastructure. Somebody have to maintain it, right? So at first we have no DevOps team. We have only one engineer. Everything is very manual and it's not very scalable. And at one point, most of our engineers are, application engineer. We don't have the expertise to, handle the entire infrastructure. So yes, that was very painful, very manual build and manual deployments for a long time. Second of all is scalability. As every startup started, we always start with the monolithic system. It's easier. You can deploy one system and you can iterate a lot faster. However, we can only scale vertically. And we also at the point have a lot of single points of failures. So on the process, we actually moved to microservices. However, having microservices is good in the sense that you can create the application a lot faster, like because you break it into smaller areas. However, the operation cost for it is also to maintain is really high. Now, not only you have only one application, you have multiple smaller applications to parallel deployment. So therefore, this scalability is important when we grow, but also the cost to maintain is super high. Third of all is availability. We we always need uptime to 99.99% because we want to meet our customer expectation. Because we are running a lot of campaign to our platform, we're spending a lot of money. Therefore, the backup, the uptime is very important for us. And disaster recovery. We need backup. We need disaster recovery because when something actually happens, a service is down, we can react fast and enable the service back to our clients as fast as possible to meet our SLA. Security. As we move up market, when we first SMB, it was not matter much. But when we move up market, we start having enterprise clients. We have to, pass all the security, like pen tests, like SOC 2, GDPR, all of these industry security standard that we have to comply to. So those are the biggest challenge for any startup, from starting to create the application to move in a market with the growth that we have. So, so now you know the biggest challenges that we face. So what do we need from the cloud platform in order to satisfy all of our challenges, right? So for example, with the infrastructure cost, we need servers, we need network management, auto domain, the load balancers, the firewalls, etc. We need container orchestration support because, with the manually deployment, it was not very efficient. Also, security. We need access control. We need security of, all of our servers. And in order for us to be supporting availability, we need to monitor and alerting, because monitoring meaning making sure that all of the servers are up well, and if something happened, some services down, the engineer can be alerted, and then we can react as fast as possible. So that makes it more proactive instead of more reactive, right, in a sense. And then backup management, like I say, SOC 2, those are the standard industry that we have to comply to. Databases, CDN, those are, very basic stuff that we need for the cloud platform. So why we chose DigitalOcean? So we were on a different cloud platform, and we moved to DigitalOcean. At first, we were we enrolled in the HASH program. We're very proud to be the HASH program graduate. But when the first part that, when we first moved to DigitalOcean, it was a rather simple transitions. Yes, it takes some time. We have about 40 different servers that we move over. And we was very surprised at how simple DigitalOcean UI was, right? Creating droplet, making sure, you have the right data center, backing up, everything was relatively simple. And we have very good support. We have a dedicated CSM who would talk to us and provide us support, as well as when we have some hiccups sometime, right? When the servers are down, we create technical support, and the SLA for us was like an hour or less, especially on the critical problem. DigitalOcean was able to give us support on very good SLA time. And yes, they startup friendly. Did I mention that the cost? We as a startup, we have to be very cost conscious. And the pricing for DigitalOcean was really, really friendly for us to, be able to, support our application. And they do have the roadmap that meets our need. For example, we wanted to do more managed database, and MySQL and Redis are actually on their beta testing right now, and those are the things that we need, and we see that the roadmap actually fit what we currently we projected to go. You've learned about what we were looking for um, from a cloud provider, as well as why we chose DigitalOcean. And now I'm going to take a step back and show you how we started. When we first moved, we have about 40 different servers, and everything was vertical scaling. And we have server levels, level servers for each of the environment, which is very expensive. We also have a lot of single point of failures and availability issues. For example, I remember we used to have some problem with MySQL instance because we managed ourselves. We didn't have the expertise to actually tune and configure the production ready MySQL server. So sometimes it's go down and we have to restart it. And when this single point of failure is going down, the whole application is going down. So then we did not meet our SLA with the customer. Everything is very manually trickle deployed. I have one person admin that use Jenkins, and we have every time that we need to deploy something is very manual step. We have to deploy to dev, we have to deploy to stage and production. It's very hard to maintain, and especially I don't have any DevOps person at that time. And very straightforward infrastructure that we have. We have Jira, Java, Python, React.js, Docker, all of the single service servers, one database servers, and an Elasticsearch cluster. So at that time, we do everything in-house and maintain all of our servers, maintain of the supported service. But think about how hard it is to scale as a team, and how to growth as the whole infrastructure side. For example, when we deploy the Elastic cluster, we do it out of the box, we configure it ourselves. But maintaining the service, you have to make sure they are secure. You have to make sure you upgrade the versioning. You also make sure you have to everything is secure, encrypted, backup, etc. So there's a lot of maintenance going on for these services. So that was 2 years ago, and what we are now. Now we have a lot more sophisticated infrastructure. As I mentioned, we was on monolith system before, and we moved to microservices system. So that was one of the big step up for us. Before, with the 40 single standalone servers, very hard to maintain, very hard to deploy, we actually use DigitalOcean managed Kubernetes. This was amazing because at the time DigitalOcean was beta testing on Kubernetes, and we jump into it. We say, hey, we need to have some kind of container orchestration, and we want to be able to, and this go alongside with how we move to the microservice infrastructure, right? So now thinking about 19 different servers on production, now we only need 7, and we actually can scale 2x of our customer, 2x of the traffic, while we actually cutting the infrastructure cost down by 20%. So using the Kubernetes setup, it was amazing, save a lot of money, and also be able to scale. That was a win-win for us. And yes, at that time, it would have been a testing for DigitalOcean. I was skeptical, but it was worth it because while we roll out to it, we never actually have any downtime, and our deployment system was a lot easier as well. Another step up, compared to what we had before, is I do have now a dedicated DevOps engineer who will handle all of these infrastructure. But now we have very high available and scalable services. We are exploring managed services in DigitalOcean. Right now is MySQL application and Redis, because we want to shift all of these maintenance to DigitalOcean rather than do it ourselves. And we want to minimal the self-managed servers that we have to maintain. And right now, we also have like a full CI/CD pipeline with GitLab and Sonar Cloud, and everything right now to doing the deployment. It was a lot easier, no downtime. You can just doing rolling deployment, and also for the Kubernetes setup, we can also set up automatic scaling, right? If there's more traffic coming in, it automatically scale more Dockers. When the traffic going down, it go back. So we can also save that operation cost as well. So this infrastructure right now, very similar we had before, but actually a lot more upgrade, but the base is the same. So that is where we are now. So we're in the process of discovering our infrastructure needs. So we needed time to try different things and refine our infrastructure. Our vision is to fully create the automated infrastructure provisioning, meaning you can use Terraform to create infrastructure as code, and so we can replicate or create any servers, any structure that we want. We want to move away from manual operations. Because we want to dedicate and increase our focus on development. We want to engage the managed services for all support software, right? We're using MySQL right now. We want to roll Redis into managed services. Elastic Cluster is the next one, and we use RabbitMQ. We also want that to be the managed service, and we want to minimize operation overhead. And we also want to fully scalable platform, because our roadmap for the next year or two is amazing, and there's a lot more things to build. So we want to really focus on that and scale our platform to meet our customer need while still maintain this very high efficient infrastructure. In this talk, I initially discuss what the challenging factors that metadata have to face at the startup, and how we chose DigitalOcean partnership that help our goals to provide to improve our cloud infrastructure, improving our operational efficiency while also keep the cost low. Thank you for listening to my talk today, and feel free to contact me or at emily.huan@metadata.io. Thank you.